My name is Mr. Anderson, and this is the only program on the internet or anywhere in the world that talks about the amazing Kickstarters that you can be part of. And this week's episode is called Kickstarter Talk Issue 35. Don't get hexed with 4 dead bodies while monster hunting with the Guano Guy in the public domain. What does all that mean? That's a great question. And we're going to get into all of that in just a minute. Of course, before we start our Kickstarters, we go into our list, which you can always find here in Kickstarter Talk. And in just a few seconds, we're going to introduce who's already online. For those of you on Facebook, you might already see him. But for YouTube, you're in for a treat in just a few seconds. But until we do that, supporting Kickstarter only takes $1. One single dollar shows support, attracts attention, funds projects, supports creators, and creates new worlds. And Kickstarter for the Independent Creators, 2nd edition, a practical, informative guide to crowdfunding. Now, normally I'd run down the list, but I don't waste creators' times. We have Travis Gibb with us. For those who don't know, he is the current project manager of The Advocator and the exciting Kickstarter now burning through Kickstarter in its last 25 hours or so, right, Travis? Do I have that right? 25 hours left to go? So 25 hours left, and Travis is going to take it away, and he's going to tell us what he has to talk to us about.
That's it. Yeah, man. So I 25 hours. There's so many cool stretch things, but it's going on right now. Obviously, guys, if you pledge now $1 for all the classes, I'm getting a major pledge $1. Even if like that guy literally from me, but it's okay because I really want to get the same.
Now, Travis, you're breaking up something horrible, but what you said is that you're going to be giving away something to everyone tonight at 9 p.m. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm breaking up. No, I'm giving the event and I'm giving away some prizes, and some of it is universal, but yeah, I'm giving away the PA on Kickstarter Live and Facebook Live. There's going to be a
That sounds cool. We're having a horrible connection with you. If you want, why don't you call back into the show, come back on when you're in a better location, and we'll have you back on in the middle. Because right now, I think they're getting pixelated, you.
2 seconds.
Okay, we'll give you 2 seconds. I'm gonna read off everything that's on the program. We'll see if we can reconnect after the list. How's that sound? I don't know if Travis heard me. I'm hoping he heard me. We're going to give him a few seconds to maybe drive through wherever he is. Florida's got some dark spots, and once you get past those dark spots of connectivity, you're suddenly in perfect places. So we're going to give him a few seconds to get out of a dark spot, and we're going to talk about what's on the program today. The Hexing, the Rainbow State is about to get dark. Broke Down is on the program today. Mandy the Monster Hunter, public domain, the graphic novel. The Guano Guy, Heritage Comics. Dragon Dreams, Superhero Team, comic, Dr. Orange, Nook Part 1, Bruno San Martino, Murder, issue number 1, Colorful Tales of Dreadful Dolls, Gabriel Torres's Odds and Even, Like Father, Like Daughter, Sisson Mark, we're going to have to figure out how to say this name too, Tepper Lempus. We're going to figure that all out. Travis, can you hear us now? Because I can see you a lot better. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's so much better. I think that we got it. I think we figured it out. So.
Yeah. I went through the bad part of town, but we're good now.
Awesome. So you're tonight, 9 p.m.
Yeah, tonight at 9 p.m. we're doing an event. And what that event is it's a giveaway to all the fans. So if you have a backing number, so if you pledge even $1 level, you get access to everything. Are you hearing me good now, Rob?
Oh, you're perfect. Everything is great right now.
Yeah, okay. So at 9 p.m., them if you have a pledge. So even a pledge for $1 can get you access. So one example is there's a guy in Australia who pledged $1 for my last giveaway. He won a page of report. So I'm going to be losing money, like $30 to send it to him. But that's okay. It's all about the fans. So that's going to be going on tonight. We're only about $150 from our next stretch goal if you guys want stickers. It's been a heck of a ride, and I'd love to finish out strong.
Let me ask you a question. Now, I do this. When I mail something to a faraway land, I usually slip in a few extra copies. Do you do that? Or planning to do that?
If I have to pay for the shipping, why not?
Yeah, I'm the same way. Might as well, right? Tell them to give it to a friend, build that fan base out in a different country. How amazing is it really that Kickstarter gives us this international ability?
No, it's super cool. And I mean, I'm sure you know, but I'm not sure about your favorite. Just signed Israel, a guy named Frank. He did an alternative cover. I did a 3,500, which is from just a couple days ago. And everybody can have access to it. It's a wraparound cover with a sketch ability. So it's got a spot on the right for you to draw a sketch on. And that's only an extra $5 on your pledge, or you can switch out any cover that you already have for that one.
Now, how did they manage to do a part sketch? Like, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, so it's the middle. So one of the covers. So the way it works, it got face. It goes into a half-page sketch, and then on the other side is the other half of the face, which is the other character, and he's got that spot over there to do a sketch. So you can kind of get a sketch and a cover at the same time, which is pretty cool.
That is awesome. And now you can do all this tonight at 9 p.m. on your page, or is this going to be
my page and Kickstarter? Yeah, so it'll be on Facebook, my page, and Kickstarter. All three of them will be live.
Oh, that's so cool. And where will you be able to answer the most questions, Kickstarter or on Facebook?
Both. My wife will be reading me the ones from Facebook, and I'll be reading the ones on Kickstarter. So I'll be getting both at the same time.
And one final question before we let you go back to getting ready for tonight's program is, how has the experience been from the fan base, seeing people back your project? How has that been for you?
The variants have been very, very good. We've got, we're now at 4 variant covers, and each of them have their own ability and they're each fan base. We have people who love Frank, that newest guy who came on last minute. He's now pledged probably about $500 on the last count just for his cover. People who love him. And then obviously we've got the people who love the Karl Malone cover. So, people are just flocking to these things. So it's been a blast, and I love to do it. When you think of indies, when you think of Kickstarter, that Kickstarter is where the collectors are. People don't want to really get these collector's items. People remember the stars of tomorrow. That's why they're here.
You're absolutely right about that. Well, Travis, we'll see you tonight at 9 p.m. and we're going to get going to do the rest of the show. Drive safe and get home safe. We'll talk to you soon, Travis, and good luck.
Yeah, I have some great others. There's some great stuff. Pleasure with them.
All right. Later. All right, Travis was cool enough to be on the program with us this evening, taking some time out. Obviously busy because he's driving around. We're excited to always have any one of you guys, you amazing creators, jump onto the program with us. Anytime you want to talk about your Kickstarter, what's what this is about. It's about sharing it. So, man, let us know what you think of your current situation, whether you have a new add-on or whatever it is. Let us be part of the amazingness of it. Speaking of amazing, let's check out some amazing Kickstarters, starting with the Hexing.
Hey, what's up, Indiegogo? My name is Michael McGarvey. I'm the writer and the creator of the Hexing. Come check out my project.
Hawaii Paradise 5-0, a beautiful state with a rich and diverse culture. But for some, it's not all sunshine and surf. Samantha, a shy teenage outsider from Ewa Beach, Hawaii, living local, loyal friend, and a total wallflower in every sense of the word, who just wants to stop being bullied. Every day was fine until the day she meets Era, a mortgage relief consultant by day and Kulam High priestess by night. Samantha's life is shattered when her family home is lost to mortgage theft. Samantha and her family soon find themselves devastated and helpless in the darkness. Samantha discovers an ancient Filipino magic, kulam. Consumed by revenge, Samantha uses it to change her life for better or worse. Can Samantha use her newfound power to bring her family justice and get her home back? Or will this mysterious power reveal an even deeper darkness? Help us bring Hawaii's own supernatural horror comic to life. The Rainbow State is about to get dark.
What? By backing our project, you will help make the first supernatural horror comic set entirely in Hawaii. First came up with the idea back in 2009. I thought, what would you do if you had magic? And what would you do if magic actually worked? So that's what kind of intrigued me about the story. I moved back home to Hawaii, and I knew I wanted to tell a story that was unique to Hawaii, that showed the local culture more accurately. During my research, I discovered a form of Filipino folk magic known as kulam. Kulam is practiced throughout the Philippine Islands and is used for mostly medicinal and healing purposes. But there are some who use it for black magic. Imagery of someone out in the jungle under the moonlight casting spells was just so strong, I knew I had to use it in my story. We are asking for donations to beef up the artwork in our book. We want to redo the inks and tones to give it more of a moody and atmospheric type of feel. But we're also raising funds to do the next installment of the series, which is the HEXED Part 2, Fire with Fire. Our crowdfunding budget is $6,600. This will cover our artwork, printing, packaging, safety net, and processing fees. So we're moving away from Waikiki and we're showing a more urban and grittier side of the islands. It's suspenseful, it's thrilling, and there's also a lot of freaky supernatural stuff that goes on in the story. So if you love paranormal stuff or monsters, there's a little bit of all of that for you. You know, we got a great team. They've been working really hard and they got some really amazing stuff to show you guys. But we cannot do it without you, the fans. So back our project, The Rainbow State is about to get dark.
Now, of course, I hope everyone's okay with the downpours that they had recently. For those who don't know, Hawaii was just affected by a tropical storm / hurricane. I think it was tropical storm by the time it hit, but still not cool. But what is cool is that project. So make sure you check it out today. Speaking of checking things out, let's check out Broke Down and the 4 Dead Bodies. How awesome was that Kickstarter? Speaking of awesome Kickstarters, let's check out Mandy, the Monster Hunter. And by the way, for those wondering, Travis was the guy who was on the program earlier. This is his Kickstarter, so now you're obligated to go check it out and see him tonight at 9 p.m. for those watching live at Travis Gibb, Facebook, or on Kickstarter.
Welcome to our new pre-order Kickstarter for Mandy the Monster Hunter, Legend of the Spindly Man. I hope you enjoy a brief look at the comic, brought to you from a UK Comic Con. I'm the co-writer of Mandy the Monster Hunter, Legend of the Spindly Man. The character Mandy the Monster Hunter was created by Matt Warner, the other half of Go-Go Media. Mandy is a monster hunter who works for kids. That doesn't mean that things are easy for them. It's a very dark world of monsters under the bed, creatures in the closet. Basically, if these things are real, the child draws a picture, that picture will find its way to Mandy, shuts on the alarm over this monster, goes and helps him. Except now Mandy's facing an enemy just as... Mandy's now facing an enemy just as powerful as she is. The Spindly Man is a legend being formed, a belief by the children is manifesting. Now it's enacting its own story of getting to the kids. And the more it does it, the more powerful it becomes. Mandy's faced this, she's investigated it, she's faced it on her own terms, and it's ended badly. This next issue, issue 3, that we're looking to raise funds now to bring to, will see the next step of the investigation. She tries to find, is there a way to defeat the Spindly Man?
So Mandy issue 3 is now on Kickstarter. No, I've lost it. Pause it. I've bugged it. I do not know what to say. All professional integrity is gone. I just draw pictures. Yeah, Comic-Con's really fun. Busy. It's good to actually talk to people who buy the work of Mandy. I've come to see the work since drawing Mandy. Really excited for issue 3. I think people who've been on board from issue 1 to really happy with how the story progresses, both in terms of there's more Spindly, Mandy. We see how Spindly has affected Mandy and the townspeople as well. So there's a lot of internal struggles as well as external struggle. And the artwork's pretty and has lots of ink, and it's dark and moody. It's great.
We hope you've enjoyed this video and this peek into the world of the indie comic scene at MCM Comic Con in the UK. Please support us and our comic, and check out our story for a whole range of awesome rewards, including t-shirts, badges, art prints, and more. Thanks for watching.
How cool was that? Speaking of cool, let's check out what's cool in the public domain. Kind of interesting, right? Speaking of interesting and hilarious, as a matter of fact, let's check out the Guano Guy.
Hey everybody, this is Mark Darden, the writer-creator of Guano Guy. So far, the Kickstarter project is going pretty well. I'm at 64%, $700 of the $1,100 ask. A lot of people have chipped in, still have a ways to go. There's 10 days left. And I would really like to get there as quickly as possible because there's a bunch of stretch goals that I want to start being able to offer. So if you haven't given yet, please jump in here. Help me get to that $1,100. There's a lot of fun books. I've got 5 comics so far. The 5th one, the newest one, is 40 pages. So if you get in on the all print level of just $22, you get all 5 issues. That's 120 pages of material. Not bad right there. There's still some early bird specials left. And once we get to that $1,100, the first stretch goal kicks in real low level, and everyone gets an additional story, a PDF. Second stretch goal, everyone gets a little phone game. That should be fun. And at the third stretch goal, I'm going to do a voice reading of the comic as the characters. I'm going to do Guano Guy, Mr. Marvelous Man, the Prankster. There's a robot, gang members. I'm going to have some friends fill in and help out. And it'll be a really fun level. I'd love to get to it. So you can sit there and you can be looking at issue 1 and boom. Meanwhile, I'm doing the reading and solving voice. It'll be a lot of fun. So please, if you haven't yet, kick into the campaign. Thank you so much, everyone who's given so far. And I can't wait for this to get done. I want to get these books out to the people. Thank you very much for your time.
Now, I love the fact that he's updated that video. I love his energy. I'm hoping to see him next weekend at Each City Comic Con. Speaking of energy, let's check out the energy from Heritage Comics. All right, we're going to have to cut that off because I know that song, and that's going to come up as something that is copyright protected. Obviously, we can't play the rest of this, so I'm going to encourage you guys to come check it out and see what it's all about. But we're going to move on to Dragon Dreams. Wonder if I... No.
Nightmare forces attack and corrupt the dreamlands of Equatoria. You command a powerful dragon god, but can you survive? Join forces with fantastic creatures and battle dragons as you use the dream magic to win the day. Welcome to Luminous Ages, a fantasy card game with multiple modes of play. In the tabletop cooperative Dragon World, you and your friends must defend yourselves against an onslaught of 3 dragon gods. Quest creatures can help win the day, but you'll need to work together. Attack your friends to gain an advantage in competitive dragon mode and strike the dragon gods in the middle. Whoever scores the most dragon god damage wins the game. Luminous Ages is also a deck-building game using the amazing cards existing in Dragon. Use the Dreamscape and its creatures to achieve 30 Dream Life points. Then stay above 30 to summon your Dragon God. Keep your Dragon God alive for 3 turns to win the game.
Hi everyone, I'm Anthony Christie, the creator of the Luminous Ages comic and card game. I'm super excited to announce that the Luminous Ages game has been expanded with color-themed decks now, so you can actually expand on the core set of the game that we have. You can get each card from each color, and the game is a deck builder also, and these decks are ready to play. You can purchase a themed deck, starting with a white Allegiance deck, a black Nightmare deck, a purple Exiling deck, or a green Nature Summoning deck. Now I'm offering discounted pricing for Kickstarter backers, and I have some cool stretch goals which I will announce later. The great news is our factory surprised us with these bonus cards, so the game is already made and ready to ship in 2 months. Also have 250 copies left of the Dragon Mode core game for those who do not have it. The funds raised on this Kickstarter will help us to expand our game overseas, as we have been running events across Australia with great success. I look forward to your support.
Ages fantasy card game brings the realms of Oniro to your living room. Back this project now to help make the dream universe a reality. Luminous Ages is in your hands.
How awesome is that? Sorry about sneezing. Speaking of awesomeness, the Sentinels. This is brand new. I'm going to watch it you guys for the first time. It just got out today. Let's check it out.
In a world, one man is bringing you comics from a parallel universe. The Sentinels, the planet's ultimate superheroes. From the genius behind forced labor comes hammer and anvil.
Done?
Bringing old public domain characters and new ones to life.
All right, guys. How awesome was that? I'm in. That's definitely Kickstarter worthy backing. Sorry about knocking the camera. I had to try to get a tissue and apparently made a mess, so I had to run into the other room. Sorry if I left you hanging for a few dead seconds, but I wanted the suspense for Dr. Orange.
Hey, sorry about that first part. Those are just some fans that are pretty excited about the comic coming out. I'm pretty excited too. I'm Joseph Dewis. I'm the writer and creator of Dr. Orange. With me here is my friend Chuck. I brought him here for moral support. He said he's going to go on a diet at the beginning of 2018, and I think he's done pretty well with it. Say hi, Chuck. Oh, I forgot. I thought I meant to say anything. I didn't want to upstage me. Anyway, Dr. Orange is a psychological horror comic. It's about a woman who carves a jack-o'-lantern for Halloween. And then she starts having dreams that the jack-o'-lantern is coming after her to ruin her life. And then when she wakes up, she sees things are moved around the house. The problem is she has schizophrenia, so she's had a history of hallucinations, and she's not really sure what's real and what isn't. So if you like horror comics, I think you'll like it. So I'll show you some of the rewards. Chuck here has a copy of the standard. Dr. Orange comic is 22 pages, completely self-contained, has everything in one book for you. He's also writing a Dr. Orange latex Halloween mask. If you've seen the movie Halloween 3, the quality of the mask is pretty similar to the masks used in that one. It's at the top end of the rewards bundle with some other stuff. And if you pledge for physical rewards in the first 48 hours, you get a free art print. It's a copy of the cover of our upcoming comic, The Crusade of Dracula. And we also have Dr. Orange art prints bundled in with some of the rewards. And we also have some other comics and stickers. So I'm going to show you some art from the book. And thank you so much for pledging and sharing.
I love that video. It's actually fun to watch. I'm going to miss it when it's gone. I love that humor. And I wish that he would come hang out with me. Speaking of kind of creepy and cool, let's check out the Nook.
I'm Caleb Toussaint. I'm the writer and creator of Nook. Nook is a story that was kind of born from a demented dream that I had a few years ago, and kind of that combined with my love of World War II stories and Guillermo del Toro style filmmaking and storytelling. If you're a fan of Devil's Backbone or Pan's Labyrinth or Crimson Peak, I'm sure you're going to enjoy the series. And I think this will be something that is really going to connect with a lot of people. This is my 7th issue and 3rd series I've started through Kickstarter, and I've run 6 successful campaigns in the past 3 years. That's including a complete hardcover trade of the science fiction series Alter Life. I would like to think my track record kind of speaks for itself at this point. If you've backed any of my projects in the past, you'll know that I definitely deliver in both quality and content, and this will be just the same. It's going to be a 3-part mini-series that explores the cyclical nature of our existence and how if we cannot learn from our past, we certainly are doomed to repeat it. There is an 11-page preview of the first issue below, along with some amazing artwork and stretch goals that we've added. The more we can raise, the better this comic's going to be, and the more cool stuff everybody's going to get. So please take a look, and I hope you find something that you connect with in the story. And I just love creating these stories, and they can only exist if people like you support them. So I hope you decide that this is a story that you want to hear.
He's an amazing guy. I cannot wait to meet him in New York. He will be there for New York Comic Con. So will I, but you guys are going to have to stay tuned to what that means. Bruno Sammartino, great guy. I've seen him at Madison Square Garden when I was real young, almost a pup. And I was sad to see him pass away this year, but I'm happy to know that his story will be told by John Crawford. So check it out.
My name is Daryl Sammartino. I am Bruno Sammartino's youngest son. I would like to thank you for your interest in this comic book. It tells my dad's amazing life story, from the mountains of Pizzaferrato, Italy, to Madison Square Garden, and everywhere in between. These books will give you the understanding of hard work, self-discipline, and determination. This comic book tells a story with not only amazing writing, but outstanding illustrations. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do.
And all the years I've been wrestling, the fans have known me never to run away from any opponent. And I surely will not run away from this particular bout.
Bruno Sammartino, one of the all-time greats in the storied history of professional wrestling, and sadly, one of many crushing losses we fans in the wrestling industry have suffered in 2018. Before his untimely passing, Bruno approached Squared Circle Comics about preserving his legacy in comic book form, and he completed interviews with writer and wrestling historian John Crowther. From those in-depth discussions with the man himself, John crafted scripts for the comics we are offering in this Kickstarter campaign. Now, illustrated by Marvel and DC Comics veteran Rich Parada, Bruno Sammartino is the authorized comic biography of perhaps the most renowned professional wrestler in the history of the industry. Holder of the WWF heavyweight title for unparalleled runs from 1963 to 1971 and from 1972 to 1976, Bruno was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2013 and claimed the string of simply amazing sellouts of the famous Madison Square Garden in New York City in the 1970s. This comic series tells all those stories, but many more, including his family's plight in and escape from fascist Italy during the Second World War, and the barriers Bruno faced upon arriving to the United States, and the ways he used bodybuilding, weightlifting, and wrestling to overcome them. Oh yes, and there was that time he wrestled an orangutan. The rewards for backing the campaign include variant covers of the comic, original art by Rich Parada, sketch covers with unique art from various Squared Circle Comics artists, posters, trading cards autographed by Bruno, and much, much more. So help us make this comic a reality and support Bruno Sammartino on Kickstarter. Thank you.
I mean, that's my childhood right there. So excited, so happy to know that his story is going to be coming to Inverse Press. They do such an amazing job. Speaking of having an amazing job, would you be doing murder for a living? Even the music for that's creepy, man. It fits perfectly. I dig it, and I think that you should get off the butcher's block by backing this project today. But before you go, let me tempt you with a few more tales, starting with Colorful Tales of the Dreadful Dolls adult coloring book. Honestly, best video in 2018 on Kickstarter. You got to check it out.
My daughter was born with a giant hole in her face. It was a cleft lip and a cleft palate. And while we quickly realized it wasn't a big thing, it really affected a lot of people when they saw her at first. And that reaction has always fascinated me. People are drawn to the beauty of how unique and unusual it is, or they're put off by it and find it unsettling because it's different. My fascination with these reactions came out in my art from a show that I did that was in an art gallery that was called Art is Dangerous. What I did was I went out and I found porcelain dolls and I broke them. And then I glued them back together slightly askew. And then I took these dolls and I put them in a room and people would walk in and they would have one of those two reactions. They would either be drawn to it or they'd be put off by it. So after the show was over, I had 8 porcelain dolls with cracked faces, all staring at me in my studio. And I didn't quite know what to do with them. And then I had a friend mention something about doing an illustration of them, and that kind of snowballed into a coloring book. Colorful Tales of Dreadful Dolls is a coloring book for adults. It features 20 pages of unique illustrations depicting unnerving dolls. Each illustration is accompanied by a short tale of the doll's eerie circumstances. The artwork is done by myself, Carrie Varner. The stories are written by Ryan Faracelli, and several of the pieces are inspired by images from Rhythm Rider photography. I've had a wonderful time putting together the artwork for Colorful Tales of Dreadful Dolls, and I'm excited to be launching this Kickstarter so these terrifying dolls can get out of my art studio and into your homes. And by the way, for those of you wondering, my daughter is doing just great. In fact, she's in the house coloring one of my sample pages right now.
I think that's awesome. So, ooh, excuse me. So much so that honestly, I think that was one of the best videos of the year, if not number one. Speaking of awesome, a 12-year-old made a comic book. Check it out.
Anyone who's ever been a kid knows how weird and complicated growing up can be, right? Now, imagine how superpowers would change things. For the gifted characters in Odds and Evens, childhood presents a whole different set of challenges. Odds and Evens tells the story of 4 superpowered friends trying to balance the day-to-day struggles of being a kid while battling monsters and evildoers at the same time. And you thought your after-school homework was hard.
Hello, I'm Gabriel Troya, creator of Odds and Evens. When I was about 9 years old, I would go on nature walks in many different parks. As I was walking, all these ideas would come to life. So I asked my dad, can I turn this into a graphic novel? And instead of having to wait till I got older, he's actually helping me right now. We finally are getting to the final product.
Gabriel's vision was facilitated by a team of professional creators, writer Mike Bullock, illustrator Fernando Panish, and letterer producer Josh Aitken have already brought Odds and Evens to digital format with a complete story and full-color illustrations. Now, Gabriel and his collaborators have come to Kickstarter for your help to put the story in print. If you choose to back this project, your contribution will help fund the physical printing costs, distribution, and ultimately, we hope that this origin story will be successful enough to produce the next installment of Gabriel's story. If you're a fan of superheroes, comics and graphic novels, and coming-of-age stories, or you simply want to support the independent creative community, please become a backer today, and remember to share this project if you know someone who might enjoy Odds and Evens as well.
With your help, we can make this real. Thank you.
All right. Speaking of awesome things to do with childhood, let's figure out what happens when like father, like daughter happens.
This is Comic and I am here to welcome you to our Kickstarter for Like Father, Like Daughter, the Trade. This is a book that will be collecting our first 4 issues of Like Father, Like Daughter, our first story arc of the series. And what is this series about? It's about a high school girl. Father left her to become a full-time superhero. Everyone in the world loves him except for her, and then she inherits his abilities. That's our elevator pitch for the series. And this is something Short Fuse Media and I have been working on for about 5 years now, maybe even longer. this was our first project. This was Short Fuse Media's first thing in publishing, and now look how many books we have, and we are ready to continue. I have a lot of stories written for Like Father, Like Daughter. We are in production for issue 5. Yeah, just a lot of things going on with this series, and I love it. It's my baby. So I would love you guys to support this book. Either if you've read it, there are some really good goodies in this trade, just a really well-crafted trade. And if you've never read it, this is obviously a great jumping on point for the series. And of course, we have some great things for backers. You can go check that out on the side, and hopefully you guys can support. So thank you guys so much. And this is Kat, the author of Like Father, Like Daughter, and of course, Comic Uno.
Now, you guys have seen her on our site doing some great reviews of other books. But speaking of reviewing, let's review this video.
Hello, everybody. We started making comic books about a year ago here at Movies Media, and this is our first major release. We're really excited about it. It's a book called Sisson. You can check out the preview below. And what can we tell you? The book takes place in a grand city. It's the home of heroes, and it's part of a shared universe. There's going to be Dr. Fizz and a few other guys running around. We even have the use of the Red Rooster from Jason Snyder. Very happy to have him. He's hilarious. And what can I tell you? The book looks great. It's 23 pages. It's in full color, and we want to make more. We've got a great art team. They're very invested in this. They're excited with the concept of this whole 3-story arc, I believe, that Big City has planned out. So we need your help. We just hope that you'll like the preview, maybe give us your backing, and hopefully we can make another one.
All right, that looks kind of interesting. I forgot to actually commit to memory how to say that, because it's weird, the spelling of it. But let's move on. I digress.
Earth is a distant memory, and humanity now lives aboard the space station Terrorless. I'm Senior Engineer Mia. Welcome to the space station Terrorless. Ever had those days where you felt like a punching bag? Days that seemed like nothing worked and everything went wrong. Well, for me, today was much, much worse.
And that's it, guys. We're wrapping up the summer season of Kickstarter Talk. This is now officially, I believe, in our full 2nd year we've been doing Kickstarter Talk. We are debating bringing back Kickstarter Last Rites in the fall, but the ratings just weren't there. I think I think we nail it with this show. We'd love you to hear your feedback on that. But for now, for the rest of the foreseeable future, we will not be bringing Kickstarter Last Rites back, but we will probably be featuring Kickstarters that we think need some extra love, possibly. That's it for the show today. Thank you for joining us through the summer season. Please spend some time today and back some amazing projects over the weekend. Check out some people on the Comic-Con Highway. We'll be filming that episode in just a few minutes. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube, don't go far. We're going to be right back on with that. Thank you for joining us. My name is Mr. Henderson, and this has been a production of Indie Advocates. Thank you for tuning in this evening.